Don't you come here?
Oh, chudan chuje ne lo manoro wara chiyen zine chambe yehe doso yela konge badere wa rikwe dorje shablang cha sara panden sawe lama rambo che dage che wara bende den yon Gadin Shembo Gone Jezon de Kosong Toge Ngodo Zardo so Tangana so Tara Shokege Chotu Yasani Ma Montune Sunga La Tatuba Lojong something name
Zare?
Oh, las Tukpa Lojong something ne.
Oh, they dropped it. That I got to get Yenlak Yamba Jimmy Jad, say what they.
Oh, las. Oh, las. Yala Yamba Jim, the last. Shepe Yanla Jitin Jong. Shava Lingwa last batang. Ta yen parabola jitin jung gon shawa singing da wo longa singing da wo tondla meng yamba kare yamba teta bote ta jojo mane sling wala so batang chuji jong damba nyamba so mehe besik mejo par Hital Zamda Jebe Teaching Yela Woman Take Yoto Yencho Kanyang Masamo He Yencho He Yencho Semje Jedang Chapar Chokor Hupa Kankyang Jumasam Te Jun Tonga Te Arang Nawa Madapele Kona Tenda Me Sanje Jamde Delang Jon Toa Kachi Chua Tanda Nyamdo Samla Aralo Jonji Sarjabar Chao Nyomo Kanche Ngana Jang Rang Rangjula Nyomo Bakanche Tala Tomara te tingdo chutam je pone and dorhing young and debur rewa tang and debur rewa tamche pang he lojong gompe lande tot rewa tang rang zangbor tond rewe nalin to pen dagba so suncho yembe pangte dona tende deji yanda chima lami dewa rani nyangi len deba thamdo so rangdo yije jen devo la rewa thamye pango tukjen yise pang hi sombane Ngopo denden tang da chende je kone langwe gejul tamche kaze tukjen tang tongbe pang la deme yumata wala labar chawo yung zangpo maten shiba na pena jikten pe me Yong Zangbo Jin te Sachu Chusu Chetam Sonya Rana Tube Me Jepa Mepa te Yento Rana Nepa Chepa la Kondo Zone Kondin Tele Namya Melopa te Pang la Napelen do Lariang Pen Dope Samjol Tang Den Samjol Tang Den Dembar Chavo Shangi Mago Jebane Jerry Yanji Sandoala Gawad Meja Goso Paropurana Singing Nav Lento Yana Nabesik Mnawa Masi Yeba Chona Dili Mna Mata Dili Mnawa Namyang Namya Yanji Yonte Kakpala Sambar Chavo Tal Tang Maguk Sensor
Lare.
Jepa Yanji Naba Jepa Shela Yane Lomango Lanjang Amajipa Nolin Chove Tang Chung to No Gel No Jewa Tapang Nella Pen canto Teta Nolin Jewa Sepane Tela Pen canto Tago de Sumat Neji Napataula Danger Napataula Nindi Majawal Champion Jamba Higom Nila Madap He Me John Sane Roa So Nella Calve Sectan Me Maimpe Me Maimpe Sunga Dembaso Me Maimpe Sunga Dembaso Yensemla Sunga Jeve Segmiju Zohal Lana Mejo He Be Rangla Pape Kangi Yena Kurwatang Aranto Pape Chawa Chakawa Yoju Yanji Ting do Junna Yoju Yanji Ting do Junna Zoke Jakol Langla Chawata Bote Theater Mija Jogbe Timtu Ji Ta Jogbe Se Sunjo La Lote Tepa Yin Chupa Dande Nangde Nyekur Nyanda So Rana Lakpara Honto Rewatang Something gay Nyapa Tope Nyapa Tope Tap Naso So Zambe Some your Pante Nyekur Nyanda Chom Majona Chime Barchavo Tolo Mecha Hipe Pok Rang Rangwar Ne Tad Pamka Lembatang Nedon Hietang Yangin Dota Rene Lojong Lojong Chena Tojo Pungir Yendo Lokbe Chus Song Yempe Tetara Mitawar Jedo Kang Chongyang Redo Nyamtik Pang Te Gom Yase Tommy Shalne Saint Jiggy Namto La Lojonde and Dedon La Dedon La Pembe Tabhudo Koan Dati Tetu Che Na Pun Che Batang Che Mebe Chu Chawa Nyomon Batang Nom Togi Nyambor Doa He Guba Yin Song Di Sene Chulo Serwam Taki Tu Tawa Talu Talo Chundi Gompa Gomno Domba Samda Mentimpa Yolo de Tombi Chu Semani Sumbata Tang Gawa Ranking Chomi Sula Yoja Chulo Serhin Kowa Tang Yansonsa Pemba Yente Pena Yolo Kam Pena Yolo Kam Nepal Melo Jibatavute Kansa Kachigi Yavam Tene Chungam Gashi Chulo Chi Somcho Tang Techo Teda Yangda Tang Loga Yimi Reu Make Sidon Lang Machipal Nawani Tumta Rana Gishencho Sam Kansa Ge Nekabla Tune Dakwad Nango Kansa Gi Yuso Sangye Mato Yenji Mazonwar Sombe Tajo Tsedan Denchid Kansa Tel Rama Rang Mango Yang Te Tam Je Chulo Sudup Menu Te Pena Ser Zambo Tang Dami Ser Zambo Tang Dami Ni Tangba Po Chomi Je Chepar Meba Yen Wo Tena Sangye Je Hyane Kansa La Meto Chula Tu Hiyayang Kata Bate Der Koala Kache Nawane Tosu Meba Wo La Dut Meba Jetang Lojong Gom Yedo Ngajatang Langsam Jete Rangyu Rengna La Dut Papa Tandavi Chuchumin to Songa Yimpe Chuchumin to Songa Yimbe Chusum Lojong Cheta Gom Yin Rangyu Chetorto and Robert Chete Kona Tenji Tamatar Chawo Jeji Yanato Duksor He Yandaso La Nasa Shishi Shona Senorong Taru Tungchi Shena Pecha Platin Hong Randa Nyamba Shena Nachipo Lasona Hong Tende Samki Yosado Da Shena Lake Nyamba So Donna Rang Chipping Yanatu Yana Mendopa Dongan Hyonso Dewa Pawan Chago So
Hola so. Nashana. So we are continuing with the sixth point, which is the commitments of Mahayana mind training. And the next line in the root text says, "Do not speak of injured limbs." This means do not talk about other people's defects. Mundane defects, such as, can you hear? Because is it on? Okay. Jim, can you hear? That Jim, yeah, there's something funny about it. Okay. It's not this? No, it's not that. Does it sound different now? Well, but I can't hold it like that. So maybe I put it on funny.
Yeah, it sounded more like it did before.
Oh, is this better? Yeah. All right, so I had it on wrong. Okay. So continuing from where we left off in the section, the commitments of mind training, the next one is the next line in the root text is, do not speak of injured limbs. This means do not speak of others' flaws or defects, including mundane flaws such as physical impairment, such as being lame, or mental impairment, such as being foolish, or dharma defects, such as having broken vows and so forth. In short, do not speak of or point out anything unpleasant about anyone else. Remain peaceful and subdued and smiling, and only speak to and about others with pleasing words. The next one says, think nothing of others, but it means the opposite of what it sounds like. This means when thinking of others, sentient beings in general, or especially anyone who has entered the gate of Dharma, never think about their faults. When you perceive a fault in someone else, think, my seeing that fault means that I have it. That's why I notice it. So therefore, this is my own impure projection. They don't actually possess that fault. And remember that there were those during the Buddha's lifetime who saw him as having faults as well. So rather than focusing on others' faults, eradicate the faults within yourself. The next line says, first purify whichever klesha is worst. Examine your mind, and once you have identified which of the kleshas is strongest or worst in you, pile all of your Dharma practice on top of that. Conquer it and purify it. The next line says, abandon all hope for a result. This means when practicing mind training, do not hope for any subsidiary benefits, short-term benefits, such as the hope of conquering spirits, the hope of being seen as a good person. Or, for example, when in order to be seen as a good person, we act in a way that is designed to look better than we are. Abandon all of that. In short, abandon all hope for happiness, pleasure, fame, or wealth in this life, for rebirth as a human or God, and even for your own nirvana. In short, abandon all hope for any kind of selfish ambition. The next line says, don't eat poisonous food. This means that if you practice Dharma or do good things with an attitude of fixation on apparent reality, an attitude where you are motivated by selfishness, all of the Dharma you practice is like poisonous food. So abandon it. And cultivate seeing everything without fixation as like a magical illusion. The next line says, don't be just. In the world, people who are called just persons never forget a favor. And even though years may have gone by, they will still remember and seek to repay that favor. By the same token, they never forget a grudge. If someone has harmed them, they will repay that person in kind because they are just. Don't be like that. Treat everyone well, whether they have been nice to you or not. Especially when someone harms you, do your most in thought and deed to help them in response. The next line says, don't laugh at bad jokes. This means, in general, don't delight in exposing others' hidden faults. Bad jokes here means jokes that where you are making fun of someone because of a fault they actually have by exposing it. Especially if somebody else speaks unpleasantly to you, do not respond by saying things that will hurt their feelings. Even if someone has harmed you, do not speak of them harshly in reprisal. Practice only speaking of the virtues of others. Don't lie in wait is the next one. Sometimes when somebody harms us, we keep this in the back of our minds. And although many years may have passed in between, we never forget it. And we wait for an opportunity to harm them in return. Don't do that. Instead, when someone harms you, repay their harm with kindness. Even if the person who has harmed you is a spirit, do not hold on to that harm, but meditate only on love and compassion. This one's funny. It's almost like don't hit others where it hurts, or don't strike to the pith of others. And this means don't say things such as pointing out someone's hidden faults. Don't say things that hurt people. And with regard to spirits, don't hurt them by reciting their life mantras. In short, don't use words that cause hurt in others, human or non-human. Don't transfer the cow's load to the bull. This means don't, when a responsibility has landed on your shoulders, don't avoid it and cause it to become someone else's responsibility. If something difficult, a difficult task, is headed your way, don't use deception and avoidance to turn it into somebody else's problem. And don't be in competition. When there is a horse race, then everybody is trying to make their horse win the race. Sometimes this happens among Dharma practitioners, where in practitioners of a similar rank, there is a competition for who gets the most offerings, service, respect, and a reputation. So don't hope that you get more of these than others. Don't hope that you, or don't engage in various strategic means of causing yourself to acquire more than others. Have equanimity toward whether you do or don't receive service and respect. Tolo, I mean, literally, it's don't feed yourself through a perverse means. But it would be better simply to say, don't be tricky. And don't be tricky means it's like fishing. It's like out of the hope that in the long term you get something better, accepting defeat in the short term. So it's like, don't be strategic, don't be tricky. So you might accept defeat in the short term so that you be respected and therefore get more in the long term. And it also refers to, don't practice mind training for any reasons other than the proper one. Don't practice mind training in the hope that it will enable you to pacify sickness and demons or avert adversity. Because if you do that, you're practicing what is called perverted or incorrect Dharma. And this is basically turning Dharma into magic, into the manipulation of reality through magical means. And so don't do that. No matter what happens, whether you're happy or not, let go of all hope and fear. About this, the Bodhisattva Tome, who wrote the 37 Practices of the Bodhisattvas, said, sometimes people will practicing a little bit of mind training, but they're doing it as some kind of magical manipulation in order to alleviate the harm or affliction by spirits. If you're doing that, that's not Dharma. That's just magic. Because Dharma must serve as a remedy for kleshas and for concepts. And then Jangwa Lodro Tai now goes on an aside. He says, we use this term, chulo, or incorrect Dharma, or perverted Dharma, quite frequently. And what does it really mean? Well, it means an incorrect view, the view of permanence or termination, incorrect meditation, that is meditation where you consider your meditative state to be supreme, and incorrect behavior or conduct, which is behavior that contradicts your 3 vows. So basically, we can reasonably call any Dharma that contradicts the views, meditation, and conduct taught in authentic, authoritative Dharma to be incorrect Dharma. And it's incorrect no matter who practices it, whether they are in a high position or a low position, whether it's you or someone else, and whether it's somebody you like and respect or someone else. Because no matter who we may be, if we practice incorrect Dharma, it is going to cast us into further samsara and lower states. And this is no different than when people practice incorrect severance, where instead of trying to feed spirits, you're trying to harm them. Or when you prescribe incorrect medicine, when you prescribe a medicine that worsens an illness rather than one that heals it. It says that is the correct use of this term chulok, or incorrect Dharma. But nowadays, he says, we all too often use it for the purposes of sectarian attack, where we will call a teaching incorrect Dharma because we don't like the person who wrote it or taught it, or because we don't like the way it arose, such as when teachings are discovered as terma or treasure. In these cases, we have no regard in our designation of that teaching as incorrect to the actual content, whether the content is correct or not. That composition or that terma may have perfectly authentic content, but nevertheless, without even looking at it, without even reading a word or a chapter, we deride it and proclaim it as incorrect Dharma, either because we don't like the particular tradition or lineage from which it arose, or we don't like the person. We don't like the person who composed it, in the case of a composition, or discovered it in the case of Terma. And this seems to be, when Jamgalo Dutai says seems, it appears that nowadays it's always a bad thing. He means it in a bad way. He says, it appears that nowadays this seems to be how we use this term incorrect Dharma. In other words, we shouldn't. So the problem with this is this. Other than a Buddha, no one can actually know what's going on within another person's mind. So therefore, the Buddha taught us not to judge. And if someone teaches a correct view, meditation, and conduct, whether you like them or not, you cannot assert or prove that their teachings are incorrect Dharma. Because the message and the messenger are different. For example, if two people are selling what they claim to be gold, and one merchant is selling fine gold, and the other person is selling fool's gold or some other something else that's not gold, it has no difference. It makes no difference. The personalities of the merchants make no difference in the quality of what they are selling. This is why the Buddha so repeatedly said, do not rely upon individuals or personalities, rely upon Dharma. And it would appear that this is very important for us to understand. And then he says that was a digression. The next line in the root text says, don't turn gods into devils. And this means that if you, as you practice mind training, your pride and arrogance increase, or you, especially if your pride and arrogance are based upon your practice of mind training, and you become more and more rigid, then you are turning the divine mind training into the demonic, aklesha. This is turning Dharma into anti-Dharma, the antithesis of Dharma. What must happen is that as you continue to practice Dharma, or mind training in particular, your mind becomes more softer and softer, more and more subdued and tamed. So act as though you are the lowest servant of all others. The next line in the root text says, do not seek others' suffering as a branch of your own happiness or your own pleasure. And this happens when we hope that we will somehow profit by somebody else's loss. Such as, for example, when you think, well, if such and such donor gets sick, then they'll surely call me to do ceremonies and I'll get lots of offerings. Or, oh, if somebody dies in such and such donor's family, they'll call me to perform ceremonies and I'll get lots and lots of offerings. Or, if one of my, the other monks died, I get their books and statues. And or if one of my peers dies, I will get their patronage instead of them. Or the thought, I think it would be best if this enemy just died, and so on. In short, let go of the hope that others suffer in order that you acquire something you want.
Dumba Lojong Labja. Dumba Lojong Labja Temba Ne Nanjur Tomji Chigicha Shi Song Te Se Sava Ku Chamba Nyava Nondo La Soba Tomji Yana Pen Dag Sobata Mandave Nanjur Chiku Lam do Cher Lono Tamchi Chigicha Shi Chepe Lono to Chitang Chawayi Lojong Gombe Tse Nata Jengi Mawa Meha Kundip Sopa Dedon Daju Sewa Rangi Nyomo Cheru Sowa Goming Mendo Paso Chona Jekten Jekomna Dagi Nipan Detabu Chonwe Semchi Mambo Yope Tenam Hingli Je Nyamdu Tenam Hingli Je Nyamdu Samla Mendo Bande Ting To Semje Tamje Je Mendo Ba Takonana Mendo Bakari Chon Take Ting Do Semje Tamje Je Mendo Ba Donga Tamje Dubar Choche Nyam To Dayin Yeb Lono Chikpo Chawo Tonta Nila Chawa Ni Shebe Toma Nangpal Dama Takpe Te Tering Chanchup Jisem Ni Tang Madrawacha Madrawachawo Nyambe Pemba Shu Tabo Tang Nyamoang Chamba Juncha Ji Sembar Che Tara Tonap Nyawana Tering Samjur Namla Tate Chanchu Semtang Garwa Chongna Rana Ni Dang Te Xiaopatang Chinche Tetra Minjongwe Tamchache Cha Manga Wando Na Gawa Gom Hing Chinchi Rangi Tamchi Teleche Lakpala Jok Nube Malam Dapate Shawa Nipo Tela Tu Yonto Lap Nieton Damba Sola Nieton Damba Sola Ang Dunsam Te Yendo Chavos Ta Ende La Yago Sadet
Me de nipa de tzatzik mar, de tzatzike.
Hola so Nipo Kanyong Zabar Cha Shi Rangi Shando Dok Awatang Nyam Tagba Chonang Ngale So Sam Te Hian Hong Semdok Majawar Yenche Tikduk Tamche Len Jing Digdib Yong Digdib Yong Tablambe Quata Longju Pontum Soba Soup Deji Chona, Pami Tangham J. Wanda Matawar, Nor Geshos Tang, Wanta Gewar Yur, Semje Tamje Deji Tang Dembar Molam Dab Donna Dedu Nimbo Kang Chongya Zabar Chas, Niba Sotang, Domnes, Nibo Sota Domnes Song He. Dompa Sumbo Ela Nibo Sundo Nibo Soda Domne Song He Domba Sum So Chu Ji Labja Tang Lojong Guji Labja Tang Tamsik So Yendo Song Ale So Yendo Song Ale Dechi Dewa Tamji Jongwe Tamsik De Ni Soda Tune Damba Sonyat, so Jonge, Labja Sonyatri, no one. So Tang, Domne Song, Chichi, Randonge, Tiang, Chicha, Randonge, Namtoge, Tewa, Mayapal, Yemage Samba, Kone Songo, Gawa Somla, Labarcha, Shipane, Nyom Momba. Tambor Ngohibaka Padu Dobarga Tar Jun Jobarka Ve Tambor Yamata Nyomba Yimba Nusambarcha Padu Yimbutop Jen Pang Tar Chinchi and the Tabutene Tene Menyorcha Yombi Heji Tesumbo La Labar Chao, Yui so Namsum Lang He should be Yui so Lama Zambotang Range Lo Lesurong with Chu Sergendo Nyamso Lambatang Segoso should be Tunjin and Zambate Tesum Ran Zamna. Gawa Gum, Yanang Tesum, Sour Molam Dub, Tang Na, Yana Ninja Gum, Sentient, Tamje, Yui, so Masawa Tamje Rana, Masawa Tamje Rana, Ponte Lang. Ranking Tamji Tesumda Demba Malam Dab Nyamba Mepa Namsum Gom Hibani Tikwa Chembu Chuji Yonde Tamji Lama Lara Lepe Lame Mugu Nyamba Mepatang Lame Mugu Nyamba Mepatang Lojong Taking Chuji Yang
Lari.
Taking Chuji Yang Yembe Lojong Gombala Toa Nyamba Mebatang Domba Sumja Slabja Nyamba Mepa Nomba Sumla Hlapo Debu Tesum Dami Sumdang Demba Chahi Tutado Lungai Lunga Yesum Digpa Ponching gave us our Rawa Mepatang. Demba Chao Yola Chomi Tatu Yang Chap Tang Ting Yong Kona Chi He Yola Churi Mepa Semjen Tang Yongwa Yesu Semji Mayin Batang Mayin Baso Loyal to Zangi Kang Shar Tamji La Lojong Kone Chabatang Tiang Katam Siktam Mayin Pa Tingni Jawar Jawa Ji So Koba namna tatugam kawa namna tatugam he lojong kabe lojong kabe dangda nape gig chepar range pen takpe lendo naba chepe lodum kentang rangin lendar dogba len jek do dogba hende me chang rangin che naba le che wang ke ning to medok medok pa so la lapar chong ning je tat ton ne gomo lama tang pama so yol nyebola ne par jowa chebatu pango jin yin ta la te me ja shi kam zangin tang long jo gome tang me kha cham me jam tang no pa yo me so jin zangin kang la ra male pa tun jin zam na zam to lo yong manzam pa teni ji to chanchu sem ni gomba te dona rang dona rangin lam to pa lo jong ge na jor ta dum mendawa tade to nyam salam tade to nyam salang hi thoma me pa ne lu tang me pa lawa thamje thame corner song chine jang thunjin zamban danda mewe tade milu top yang tabe chudan jarbe kamder set up then in the mud to be ton you to hin yam so lang go then 10 days then chimeton to che chima khowa le thaba to rangdong le yendong to chu he de yin le duba to duba le chan chu yu sem jong to then lo ri je gam le lame menga posum soba gomba to kyolam yen le mato dene yongwa so che o kolo meja shebane kolo tok pangba te chö debe kachi meso par dandur ni chong sing ne tsongke so je donga zepa kolo chö namda dupala dumba mije pa tsende dechi panjolan dumba cheban dumba kolo to sam gom sumje ro me nyawar sanden longchu je ro nyawar ro nya kolo depa chebal hinge mije par chöje katab chebala chöje katab chebala hinge gomba hinge kolo rana tobe me chola me jorwa sende chetabla jorwa nyesem kolo khonde je dechi tang gewala khonde je dechi tang gewala gawa me kompal yana mede wata dala dongar chungwala gawa gomba yesu yera kolo te Tupote number kunda power javos, Renjo Mija, she Renga che, Renga Mije Bechula, Nishi, Machewa Yembe. Lona Memawa take the Lojong. Take the Lojong or Cha, Torso to Bang, she Naming Tang. Mande pa Lojong Kona Lo Lingi Chola Cho Chik the Yang Tokyo Ninja Tower Jam She Rangula Jondo Tojing Joba Niji Nyomon Tang Da Nyomon Tang Dandele Tower Jago de Teyang Ranju la Nyomon ba chebe yul yi la che de ta du che mi chewa ta du che mi chewa ta che na nyembo ta du ten yang ta chen de chen da de wa ta ka te me pa ta no na me patal don chadang ge yoshi ten ta te se jinde jewan do na da yi jeve nyembo temata do pangu yu magam he parabu rangi ten yu jang yu she mi Chate Dave Yenchi Gombe Shetang Kebata Tumbata Che Nyams Lani Katab Yuning Cheba So Randon Yembe Yana Yu Chadon Maybe Chill Yu Yana Mansongo Kale Yago Sada
Pacha Yana Shana.
Jene
the download Sargamari.
Town, how much?
Sargamari. Dela Shana.
Melarama chasing it.
Milarawamachi.
Yes, I have to.
The seventh and final point is called the it's funny because later in the text, Jangwa Lodrutai uses these terms Labja and Duczyk interchangeably. Duczyk is Samaya and Labja can mean what must be practiced, but it can also mean what must be avoided. So in a sense, they both can mean lists of rules, but the difference is that the seventh point is more, sounds a little bit more like advice. But it's also, it's not that different from the sixth point. So anyway. The first line in this seventh point is perform all activities within one yoga. This means that when you eat food, get dressed, go to sleep, walk around, sit, and so forth, do all of these things with the motivation of doing them for the benefit of others. And make that motivation your overriding yoga or practice. The next line says, what's the word you use if you're you have feng shui and you want to fix a problem with the feng shui? You alter something in the house, like putting a fishbowl somewhere or a mirror. And I mean, you can say correction, but because he uses a term that they use, literally it means overcoming what is incorrect. So it's like you make it an adjustment that is more powerful than the problem that's there. So we can say correction or alleviation or what's remediation? What's the word we use for that? Like when you have that radon in your home, they have the term for the things you put in to remedy it. No. It's remediation, I think. So we'll say, anyway, perform all remediation with one thing. Just as when in geomancy or feng shui, one discovers a problem with the way you're facing or whatever, you engage in remediation to deal with it. In the same way, when during the course of your meditation on mind training, you experience problems such as sickness, much adversity, gossip, being reviled or criticized, affliction by spirits or lawsuits, or your own kleshas increase, and you find yourself not wanting to meditate. Instead of resenting these things, use a single remedy for all of them, or any of them. Reflect upon the fact that right now, in the world, there are countless other beings, or many other beings, who are suffering exactly the same problem that I am dealing with right now. And reflecting on that, cultivate empathy and compassion for those others. Then make the aspiration that the undesirable circumstance, whatever it is, that afflicts all other beings, be drawn into or piled onto that undesirable circumstance that afflicts you. And that the suffering that all other beings are undergoing as a result of that circumstance be drawn into your suffering alone. In short, use exchanging yourself for others as the single remedy for all that requires remediation. The next line in the root text says, "There are two things to do in the beginning and end." The beginning refers to the beginning of your day. When you first wake up in the morning, as soon as you do, form the resolution, today I will not depart from the two bodhicittas. And in that way, create a strong momentum of your intention. Throughout the day, continuously or frequently remind yourself of that intention. And finally, when you go to sleep at the end of your day, review what you thought and did, your thoughts and deeds of that day, and look to see whether they did or did not contradict bodhicitta. If they did contradict bodhicitta, then carefully consider the circumstances under which these contradictions occurred, admit them, confess them, and resolve to do better next time. If you did not contradict bodhicitta, then reflect on this with joy, and make the aspiration that henceforward you and all other beings be able to do even better, much better than that. So continuously train in these two things to do in the morning and evening. This can be applied to other aspects of your practice, such as the confession of wrongdoing and downfalls and violations of your vows. Then the next line in the root text says, "No matter which of the two occurs, be patient with it." Sometimes you will be suffering greatly, even desperate. But when that happens, don't become resentful or depressed. reflect upon the fact that this is the ripening of your own previous karma or actions. And instead of resenting it and thinking, why me, take into yourself and add to your own affliction all the wrongdoing and suffering of others. In short, turn the affliction into an effective means of purifying wrongdoing and veils. Sometimes things will go very well. You will have an adoring entourage, a lot of possessions, wealth, and so on. When you experience a great pleasure and comfort, don't let it make you careless, and don't get lost in apathy. Use your affluence. If you are wealthy, use your wealth for good ends. If you have power or authority, use it in a virtuous way, and especially make the aspiration that all beings possess even greater authority, even greater freedom, even greater affluence. In short, no matter what happens, whether you are happy or miserable, be patient with it. The next line says, protect the two with your life. The two are the commitments of Dharma in general, such as those of the 3 vows, and the specific commitments of mind training. Commit yourself to committing these two, to protecting these two with your life, knowing that these two are the source of all happiness in this and future lives. In order to do this, you must ensure that there is no selfish thinking in whatever you do. And guard your mind, ensuring that whatever you do is done only with the intention of helping others. The next line in the root text says, train yourself in the 3 difficulties, or 3 difficult undertakings. There are 3 things that are difficult to do, and they have to do with kleshas. In the beginning, kleshas are difficult to recognize. In between, they are difficult to stop. And in the end, they are difficult to eradicate. So therefore, at the beginning, as soon as a klesha arises, recognize it as a klesha. Because the problem is that when kleshas arise, they tell you, so to speak, that they're not kleshas. In between, let go of the klesha by applying its appropriate remedy. And in the end, make the resolution, henceforward, I will ensure that this klesha not arise. So practice those 3 phases of dealing with kleshas. The next line in the root text says, accept the 3 principal causes. The 3 principal causes of practicing Dharma are, first of all, a good guru. Second, the ability to practice because your mind is workable. And third, the necessary provisions, such as food and clothing. If you possess these 3, then contemplate this with delight and make the aspiration that all others possess these 3. If you do not possess these 3, then meditate with compassion on others and make the aspiration that the incompleteness of these 3 necessary resources for Dharma practice in all beings, leave them and be drawn into the incompleteness that you experience. and the aspiration that yourself and others, that all beings possess these three complete resources. Maintain the three without impairment. The first is devotion. As all of the good qualities which arise through Mahayana Dharma come from the Guru, then ensure that your devotion for your Guru remains unimpaired. Second, as the quintessence of all Mahayana Dharma is mind training, ensure that your enthusiasm for the practice of mind training remain unimpaired. And third, maintain your commitments of the three vows without impairment. The next line in the root text says, always keep these three inseparable, or you could say, always possess the three inseparables. This means at all times, with body, speech, and mind, refrain from wrongdoing and inseparably cultivate roots of virtue. Roots of virtue are good deeds that are sources of the accumulation of good karma, and also are roots of further virtue because they instill good habits. The next line in the root text says, train in objects impartially. Or you could say train without partiality towards objects. And the second line goes with that. Pervasion and profundity or depth are of importance in all cases. The notion here is impartiality. So being impartial toward objects means impartial toward sentient beings, impartial toward inanimate objects such as the four elements, and impartial toward beings who may be difficult, such as non-human spirits and so forth. Pervasive means respond to all of these objects or interactions, whether good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, and to whatever appears only with mind training. And do so in a manner that has profundity, not merely just in words or with your mouth. Literally, it's almost like always meditate on that which is burdensome, but you could say on that which is most difficult. Certain beings are more difficult for us to use as objects of mind training. These are enemies who hate us, obstructors who harm us, and especially those who have betrayed us, those whose kindness on our part has been repaired with betrayal or actual harm on their part. Also those who we see as competitors, those who accompany us and for no reason, just out of random spite, just harm us, and those who because of karma, just naturally dislike us. So these need to be emphasized, and love and compassion must be especially generated for these objects. And especially, you need to abandon all it's strange because it seems out of context, but it says especially abandon that which is harmful to very important or significant individuals, such as your gurus, your parents, and so forth. And it doesn't seem directly related to the preceding point. The next line in the root text says, "Do not be dependent upon external conditions." Your health can be good or bad. Your resources, your possessions can be plentiful or scarce. What people say about you can be nice or not. You may or may not be subject to attack by others. In short, you have to be independent from both good and bad conditions. So when you have the resources you need, within the possession of those resources, practice mind training. When you lack the resources you need, in the context of lacking resources, practice mind training. In short, don't be dependent on any particular situation. Practice mind training no matter what. Then the next line says, now practice what is most important, or practice what is of principal importance. Throughout beginningless time, we have occupied countless bodies. And in all cases, judging by the fact that we're here, all of our those lives, all of those have gone pretty much to waste. We now have this incredible opportunity with all of these resources. This is not going to reoccur. So remind yourself, now I have this precious human body. I have encountered authentic Dharma. The main thing I have to do in this life is accomplish, as I am in a position to do, my perennial well-being. So therefore, I must practice what is of the greatest importance. So what are our priorities? Future lives are more important than this life. Achieving liberation in the future is more important than remaining in samsara. Helping others is more important than helping oneself. Of study and practice of Dharma, practice is more important. And among all the types of practice we might do, the cultivation of bodhicitta is the most important. Within the cultivation of bodhicitta, the cultivation of analytical meditation using scripture and reasoning is less important than the earnest practice of one's guru's instructions. And remaining on your cushion, meditating, is more important than anything else you might do. And then don't be perverse or don't be opposite. I never find perverse quite strong enough for this, because perverse implies a little bit off, whereas this means golok means upside down, or do we use the word sideways for that? Things going sideways, or that just means off? That doesn't mean opposite. So this really means opposite. Okay. So don't be opposite. This means to abandon the 6 opposites. They're not opposites the way we normally use it, but the 6 upside downs, let's say. To not be patient with the difficulty of practicing Dharma, but to be patient with the difficulty of competing with enemies and favoritism toward your friends. To be patient with the difficulty of engaging in business. This is called upside down patience. So you're not patient with the difficulty of Dharma, but you're patient with making money. To not respect those who practice pure Dharma, but to respect those who get rich and prominent in this life is upside down respect. To not experience hearing, contemplation, and meditation, but to experience wealth and prosperity is upside down experience. To not feel compassion for those who do wrong, but to feel compassion for those who engage in austerity for the sake of Dharma is upside down compassion. To not guide those under your influence to Dharma, but to guide them or steer them toward greatness in this life is upside down guidance or mentoring.
If it's the right word, but Gary Rinpoche would call it idiot.
Well, that's, a lot of people use that. To not delight in the happiness and good behavior of others in samsara and nirvana, but to delight in the misery and suffering of others, especially enemies, is upside down delight. So abandon all of those things, those 6 things. The next line in the root text says, don't be sporadic. This means sometimes you practice and sometimes you don't. And this comes from not really believing in Dharma. Because if you really believed in it, if you were certain about it, you would practice all the time. So don't let your mind wander into all sorts of different ideas, but cultivate mind training one-pointedly. Docha the Pung. Chu the Pung. The next one, if it looks like there may be something cut off at the bottom, but it would mean put it sort of focus, like put everything in one, or if there's nothing missing here, then it means it's almost like put all your eggs in one basket, as opposed to don't put all your eggs in one basket. This means entrust yourself without reservation, only to the practice of mind training, without getting involved in other distractions, and practice it wholeheartedly or single-mindedly. Then the next line says, free yourself through examination and analysis. This means continually scrutinize and analyze your own mind. By doing so, free yourself from kleshas and from fixation on a self. The way to do this is to think of something that inspires a klesha in you. So bring that object to mind. And then examine your mind to see whether you respond to the thought of that thing with a klesha or not. If a klesha arises, then firmly apply the appropriate remedy. Also, look to see whether there is selfishness present in your mind. If it appears to you that there is no selfishness in your mind, then think of something or someone that gives rise to either attachment or aversion. Then look again. If you find that in response to the thought of that object, selfishness has arisen, then apply the remedy of exchanging yourself for others, and immediately let go of that selfish thought. The next one is, don't be proud or don't be arrogant. Even though you may have exhibited great kindness to others, don't become proud or boastful about it. Remember that you did it because you are trying to cherish others more than yourself. And don't be proud of your dharmic virtues, such as scholarship or learning, monastic discipline, how much dharma practice you've done, how much austerity you've undergone, and so on. Remember that you did all these things really for your own good. So there is no reason for you to be proud of these things in the face of others. So do not allow yourself to become proud. Mila rewa mache lala soa tapcha de tso de tsatsik mare de jungi de lala soa tapcha rarengbe ka yin song kolong midom de tsatsik jemare.
Sixong song do ne no mangbo do de.
Oh yeah, that inashana.
No.
Lasso. So we're not going to finish the text this year, but we have half an hour for questions. We'll have to finish it later because there's more than just the 7 points. Then there's all the additional instructions from the lineage and so on. So if you'd like to ask questions, please go ahead.
So when you were talking about facing death, and if you're unable to sit up in a 7-point posture, and how you could lay down on your right side, with your hand, would your arm be down as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, your arm would be that so that you can go like that.
Thank you.
상제 야자부 상제 점년데 신라 펩너 가수게 좀단테봐.
It's the posture, the lying down posture that the Buddha took when he was passing away. So we call it the sleeping lion's posture.
I have two questions. That's okay. All the way up to my mind. Thank you, event organizer.
She's so helpful, isn't she?
She is. She's a pro. First is regarding an instruction on the Tonglen from yesterday. In past teachings on Lojong, I've heard that the exchange, imagining the dark, tarry, awful suffering of all beings is, since the heart is limitless in the teachings, that it comes in and it just dissipates into emptiness. I've heard it taught in that way.
Mm-hmm.
The presentation here seems more, you're taking it on, you know, part of the practice is to be
Jongul
fearless about
Udritai
it.
doesn't say anything here about it disappearing.
Right, okay. Thank you. That is one question. The second question has to do with sort of modern times. These teachings are presented in such a way that it's very much a personal interaction, that your kleshas arise in face-to-face interactions,
Mm-hmm.
in society, in your life, in your work, and so forth. And a lot of us, we sort of live in modern times in sort of isolation frequently, and our interactions are remote. And a lot of, I'm going to speak for myself, a lot of my most disturbing emotions are arising from news,
Mm-hmm.
politics, things that are not in my direct control or anything that arose from anything I would consciously did, you know.
So you're saying, like, hypothetically,
Yes,
you know, let's say that someone were aggrieved by news of certain things
Mhm.
going on, the klesha of anger arises towards someone you've never met and probably will never meet.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming, and I ask because I'm seeking correction, is
We
Kleshas-
love to correct
a
you.
klesha is a klesha,
Yes.
regardless of what sparks it.
Yes.
Well, thank you very much. You've been great help.
You don't want to ask
no,
him?
I definitely do. It just feels like
No, I
you
went.
gave me my answer.
Did it? Pena
Please.
de shedan lona. Dene data ngosu ke soso ngoshepa che ke dun de shedan lona shedan re. Yana de sadro tado dene de sozin marap de something shedan lona de on shedan wa chipare.
Yeah, like it.
Yep. It's the same. Oh, wait, we were supposed to go on more. It's till 5.
Today,
Not so dadong yandu. Dadong chik songime.
no. Can't
I forgot that we have 3 hours, not 2 hours, because he said, "Oh, let's stop here. We're not going to finish it." And then I translated, and it was 3:30, but we have till 5. Oh,
Mm.
yam tetsungime.
Sungim.
Yeah, maybe let's go on then.
Yeah, to a year to chot.
Yeah, and then we'll still have time for questions because we'll stop at 4 for questions.
So the Yava Patalap,
Yeah.
didn't to a chur, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll talk until 4, and then you can ask questions. I got mixed up. Mila
Mela
mache.
Java,
Mila rewa mache.
Mela Java Machi, Lan saw top shower, can't see Mela Java Machi, Lan saw top shower road dip, Rawatarana Roja Dota Karina Lata.
the
Roja
radring ba the geshe don ton ba ke sungre
Yeah.
that the milarewa ma che la so tap
Lalo so to cho Rading pe chet ka yin song singing the
lare
ka yin song kolon medam she yana tado ge samba meja yan jirang la mem mangsar pa papatang no ba cheba so la le meja hing semju thuba pang poto be shane hokol hokol chepan nam chut hokol chepan nam chut danten che nyambar mason wala zosen xiaobe chong kolon tangsen we tambar date te chue ko me chope chue dande ji nyambon do hi go so ta chue te chi me chi dande ki nyambon do go are ma to te ta ji lap so ya kondo sa te ta ji lap so na ya so ba hyor so wa te na ta ya ko mare so wa yu tamba mecha he chong zi zamde gam me get nam jur tamba te chue ji semna zemba mecha or che mandong he berange chue nyam so lang batang yana pen tak batang give le che baso give le che baso la yen you war che chege tonra yong rewa mejate dona nyenda yeng tel te pa chembo yap rewa mejaso serwa dona nyenda yong rewa pawa wo tetal sabjate namne Lojong minyam sing competent yobe tab yen la dona jase rumbo chi se serje chancho sem na ba nyepo nyamji nyi go ne lekpar jang ne jang ding topar chawo he damba tar beto nyama nga doan de nyama nga po doan de chancho lam de juai menga Duczyk hingbon de selling pani jupai he bane tu tang Sentient tang te tang nyomon batang tawe nyoma ngala dobe deben tsakin nyong garjin munten ba hendo mangwe chue yenje nyembo malem na Lojong ken chenge chetam manghi gejam perwa penna heng chetam manghi meje checher perwa tar nyomo da chenge tamche chancho yulam konar yurwa yen yana mebe checho wamo chomi tamche la pento hi yulan yongwe yana Duczyk yingbo tabun de shu lama nam sum nang ne choto kudne chewa chowo selling pane jub sabcho yeno he bao jang legend to sepe rangi muba mawi yu donga taungi che se ne dangde ndob donga shu tan she ya mjo to he ban ne give hini Give Hini Chimbo Chekawani Wanji Len To Sene Chur the Kona La To Moba Gaji Chimbo Chur Tamje Tawa Ransem Dandi Debe Dongan Dini Cho Yase Gaju Le Hu Cho Yase Gaju Le Hu Shanto Lekbar Janwe Dave Yenchi Tu Rando Tawa Tene Mebajete Shogor Shobetam Tenden Tatuban Dupking Ding Top Joba Mebao Shakja Shimande Sholoka Shimande Sholoka Shimande Yon Tampo Yo Dove Song
Continuing from where we left off, the Geshe Drumtonpa, the founder of Radon Monastery, made he had a saying, don't hope for much from people. Pray to your gods. And that's in the previous section. The next line in the root text is, don't hold a grudge, or don't bear grudges. This means don't think of others with jealousy. And even if someone, for example, humiliates you in front of others, where there are many people, don't seek a vengeance or reply harshly. Let go of your mind's agitation. Geshe Potowa about this said, we Buddhists, our Dharma, our practice, has not served as a remedy for our fixation on a self. We are more sensitive than it's the skin under a blister. So more sensitive than our underskin, and hold our grudges more tightly than demons. That does not qualify as Dharma. Dharma must serve as a remedy for self-fixation. The next line in the root text says, don't be hasty. This means don't react immediately to little things, such as displaying pleasure and displeasure at the slightest pleasant or unpleasant thing. And by not doing this, don't afflict the minds of your companions. And then the next line in the root text says, don't expect thanks or gratitude. Don't think that because you practice Dharma or have done things to help others or have done such and such good things, that don't expect or hope for people to thank you or celebrate you or make a big deal out of any of this. In short, let go of any hope for respect and fame. Now these guidelines, we could say guidelines, in this seventh section are means of ensuring that your mind training not degenerate, but continue to flourish. In brief, as Jose Tome wrote, practice throughout every aspect of your life and at all times the two bodhicittas. Train yourself in them in both meditation and post-meditation, to the point where you gain the confidence of being thoroughly trained. Then next we come to the colophon with which Cheikawa Yeshe Dorje ends his root text. Says, in this time of where fivefold degeneration proliferates, these instructions are the essence of amrita, or ambrosia, or nectar, for transforming such circumstances into the path to awakening. These have come down through the lineage of the Sumatran Dharma Kirti. So first he says that the times in which he lives, and this would be all the more true of our times, are characterized by fivefold degeneration. These are bad times when the events are bad. Degenerate sentient beings, where the bodies of sentient beings are degenerating as the environment degenerates. Degeneration of lifespan, where the lifespan is shortened. Degeneration of kleshas, where the kleshas are getting stronger. And degeneration of views, where the belief systems or outlooks of people are degenerating as well. When these five types of degeneration proliferate, where they become the environmental, the conditions or resources conducive to happiness and well-being are few. And conditions that are conducive to adversity are many. Under such circumstances, it's very difficult to practice, and especially difficult for practice to serve as an effective remedy for these circumstances. So when times are so bad that other dharma, other practice cannot handle it, mind training is especially effective. Because mind training, because of what it is impervious to adversity. For a practitioner of mind training, in fact, the more adverse circumstances they undergo or encounter, the more their practice flourishes. Just as when you add wood to a fire, the fire increases. Therefore, these instructions are of extraordinary value in bad times, because these instructions are the way to transform your own kleshas and the adverse circumstances under which to which you are subject into the path to awakening. This, therefore, is a special aspect of Dharma that is unique to the lineage of the Sumatran Dharma Kirti, his disciple Atisha, and so forth. Another thing that makes this teaching unique is anyone can practice it. You do not have to be of the highest faculty. It will work for and help anyone, whether of highest, middling, or lesser faculties. Anyone who wishes to can apply this to their mind. So therefore, these instructions are like the essence of Amrita. Among Lord Atisha's three principal gurus, the one who was of supreme kindness to him, the Sumatran Lord Dharmakirti, taught Atisha this. And they have come down, these instructions have come down in a lineage from him. Then Chekawa Yeshe Dorje continues with his colophon. Because my karmic propensity of previous training awoke, I became very devoted to these teachings, and therefore, ignoring suffering and disparagement, I sought and received these instructions on how to conquer fixation on a self. And now, even if I die or when I die, I will have no regrets. The great spiritual friend Chekawa Yeshe Dorje in early life experienced an awakening of his karmic propensity for mind training. And he became exclusively devoted to this system, this practice alone. And in order to receive it, he underwent a great difficulty or great austerity. And in fact, that's what Chekawa means. And he received these instructions, which really go to the root or contain the root of all dharma, that because they are instructions on how to conquer self-fixation. He received these from the Kaju, the lineage of Lord Atisha and Geshe Dromtonpa. And having practiced them thoroughly, he gave rise to such cherishing of others that he eradicated all selfishness within himself. And thereby, he really accomplished the ultimate purpose of that we all share who enter the gate of Dharma, and gain the confidence of having accomplished it. So therefore he said, now I have no regrets. So these two final stanzas are the colophon with which Chekawa Yeshe Dorje ends his text. So now we've got to the point of the text where we're almost at the end, but not quite. But there's just enough that we couldn't finish it, even if we had no questions and answers. The next section is supplementary instructions from the lineage. So we'll stop here, and if you'd like to ask questions, please go ahead.
I'm not going to get up to the microphone, but I just want to throw something out if you're interested, and if I get permission. One of the things I find, generalizing greatly, is great teachers come and they give these teaching more than almost any other teaching that's true. So if you're interested in Temple says, okay, if Temple says, yeah, that's fine, I'm happy to come back and go through the supplementary teachings and go through the practice over and over and over and over again. Because that's really what it is. If you're interested in that, I'm more than delighted to.
I have a question. Is this on? All the way up like this? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I have a question about the Zambala empowerment that you gave, Rinpoche. This was a question that some of the Gardroma students here were asking me, so I thought it would be best to check with you. That empowerment, does it specifically cover the white Zambala practice that they do here, and also any other Zambala practice, or is it specific to the Terchambarba Dorje Terma?
Telangana Lojong Ringbo Shayodis. Telangana Lojong Ringbo Shayodi. Tambo Ngendo Kejanda Wote Zambala Karbu Konomen, then Lavades. Zambala Kapo Lavade. Tene Zambala Kapo Lavade. Zamkar Konya Chinking Tanda Wangi Tawan in the Mandus. Zamka Konya Chinking Wangi Tawan in the Mandu. That Dupati Goyodis. Tawan in the Mandu. That Tandang
Choco Yonzo ke Wong River.
so Chanter can de that Zona Yonzo Wangi Tini. That Kora Tangana Yovati Tantan Dose. Tanda Koran Songhin Zamquate, Yuju Yoris, Geru Chujato Jigitemaris, Geru Chujato Jigitema, Zamquate, taking Zamquate that on a Reconcajukona Bakata, Peshukimosum Yoris, Garamochicona, Mexic, Caduna Sungados. Take a Geru Chujato, you take it. Te taking Bavdo Yoris. Ten the causa la conte da invata la tene te la cora zamka che wang da che ba chata kong ke tam te yoris they already in te be je ban do cho cora te je ban do wang je ban do te ten la lower te gonna te calendar re ten do te in tate mao pala samno tangne ya ne ta tanda dambala ngate ke te phuares ti na la ngone chena to onda woten damra tre te ores dambal ka bo yo ores
What was your question? Was this empowerment specifically for white Jambala?
Well, does it sort of cover
Okay.
all of the Zambala practices, including the specific
Okay. Yeah. The answer is a little complicated. Rinpoche said it's a long story. The white Jambala or Zambala, as we say, sadhana that is practiced by the Drikung Kaju in general, and in particular emphasized and frequently practiced by Gachan Rinpoche, is a terma of Gyuru Chujal Dorje, who was a Tibetan of the early 19th century. Now, Gyuru Chujal Dorje's Dharma heir, the predicted heir to his terma, was Terchambarba Dorje, Rinpoche's predecessor. And so, of course, Tejin Baba Dorje did, as Dharma heirs sort of have to do, compose a liturgical arrangement for the empowerment, and an arrangement or supplements for the sadhana. But both the sadhana and the empowerment are very long. Rinpoche said they're not of a length that I can just give, in an afternoon. They can't be given on the spur of the moment. So I've left that for the future. So the most length appropriate Zambala empowerment that I could find that I could give was the one I gave from the Northern Treasures, which is the 5 Zambalas with a further entourage altogether. And the reason why I chose this one was that although the principal figure is the black Zambala, not the white Zambala, the white Zambala is in it also. So in that sense, it does cover it. But at some future point, it would be good to give the actual one. Now, people have been asking me, the translator, for the mantra. And so I downloaded the sadhana and looked at it and got the mantra. And because they were confused, because Rinpoche said, we'll say the mantra together, and then he kept on changing what he was saying. So the mantra that's recited as one recites mantra is this. So it can be passed around. I've written it. I don't know if I'm probably missing some achungs and things like that, but basically this is it. And if you like to Tibetanize everything, you can say Zambala instead of Jambala, and Zalandrai instead of Jalandrai, and so on. But if someone can pass this around, this is it to whoever wants it. And obviously it's Romanized. No, Romanized. That's called Romanization. Yeah. This person? Not in her case. Yeah. Actually, not in my case, not in anyone's case.
I have a question from one of the streamers, but it's a little difficult to read on my phone, so you can practice patience for just a minute. Sorry. Does anyone else have a question? That came with Rinpoche, the picture, and I'm happy to make a copy of it or scan it or something. Sure, yeah. I would just need the picture. So the question is, how do we fuse formal 7-point mind training with our deity sadhana and Dzogchen Mahamudra practice?
Da soso ge nyamlen ge kapso de ne lai cherem gomju dang chaja chembo am zopa chembo ge nyamsha gomju ni yotsane de da nyamdo lojong don da ma nyamso lan tap kando gogudo.
Tate rere thadu rere zone ya bo ingre.
Loso.
Tanda tik ma da kone in zona tanda me kalete ronda wore.
Loso.
Then the tato singo nyamne pa ho tanna tene kuna lojong che kone che chojo was.
It would be best to practice these gradually, one after another. So whatever sequence of practices one wishes to engage in, to complete one practice before one begins another. If one attempts to equally emphasize two different practices at the same time, it's usually causes difficulty.
When we were talking about how we perceive things yesterday, and you were saying we could only perceive one thing at a time, even though the monkey seemed to appear at 6 windows at the same simultaneously. I was wondering if you could clarify. It's like when I have a conceptual thought, I still feel like I'm seeing and hearing other things. Are those sequential too?
Dan de Duczyk la nanto ni yosig marwa. Nanto de nangarwa. No, because you can't have two thoughts at the same time. It's not saying that your eyes stop functioning or your ears stop functioning. Yeah.
I apologize if this was no doubt explained yesterday afternoon when I was not able to be here. But I was just looking at a translation of the text, and I wanted to ask about one of the lines. So this particular translation, it's from the second verse, says, it's about Tonglen. It says, giving and taking should be practiced alternatively, and you should begin by taking from yourself. These two should be made to ride on the breath.
Those are taken from two different parts of the text. The one quotation says, practice taking and sending in alternation. Coordinate them with your breathing. That's one couplet. And then later on, the text says, the sequence of taking or acceptance begins with oneself. And so are you which of these two are you asking about? Mm-hmm. The Tonglen de ukdang rat ne kanda gongyore. Kazon kong chuten che somata.
Don kande che so da tonne ni po pe ma jang.
Den
Teni long ten jang che sing sing.
de
O ta te kona tonne ni po te remo zone. Kona Tao pa tanto capsula that dewa te gewa yung to pa te number sol nembe capsula that dunga te me gewa ka te yona sol nembe number that and doga te cheke song yan.
So basically what it means is that you coordinate the taking into yourself the suffering and wrongdoing of others with your in-breath, and the giving to others of your own happiness and good deeds with the out-breath. And in order that the visualization be clear, you imagine what you're taking from others, the suffering and causes of suffering, as darkness that you inhale, and your own goodness and happiness as bright light that leaves you by your nostrils and goes to them as you exhale. Mike.
Just so I heard it correctly, so you're taking it in through the nostrils, and going down to the heart, but the light goes out of the heart to the person or out of the nostrils?
The shendage dewadang, shendage de dungaldang, migawa de zor ngope koso, nago ne zor shutne, ninkala timrogeris. Da soso ge gewadang dewa shendala jimbe koso, de nago ne tongiore, dambo de ninka ne ma yayone nago ne tong sungadoai. It doesn't particularly specify that your happiness and virtue comes out of your heart. It's just that you breathe it out from your nostrils. So everything goes through the nostrils, and the suffering and causes of suffering are absorbed, drawn into your heart. It doesn't specify that the happiness comes out of your heart.
Or where it comes from. In other words, it doesn't come up from the heart, the happiness either. It just goes out from the nostrils.
Yeah, exactly.
From nowhere.
Not from nowhere. It doesn't say from nowhere. It just doesn't say from where.
Me say getala kuchadang kita dewa te gewa tamche ta nagon pa long chalan rosong sambama te ini lepsong delan rosong sambata tu.
It's not intended to be that technical. It's basically the attitude is that you're letting go of it. You're giving it to others. It doesn't say that it comes from here or so on. But as you're coordinating with the breathing, you imagine it going out through your nostrils.
The intention, heartfelt, going out of your happiness to others.
Yes.
Tan dege lega ni chege yoris. Dege lega ni khare chege yoris na. Ta tanda lapa lam de hyok debe kapsula. Lapa lam de hyok sena ta pena tangbo tone geta mikba zona tone nyamne zon kapsula. Ten deke rang la fingres. Rana hyok chembo pengere khare pengere sena ta ngara sola tanda tene da chebal zembe ke dangde sengir pe maseba hyok chembo yores hyok chembo yodu kapsula tambo tone zo jo na tone zo kapsula ngara la khala kansam me to nyongs ngara ke tal ngora ngo shi yamba hloma yamba se ko na kare na to nyong ta tene zone donghar thondo ganga leon de kaso chata nayong lo senbet nana be mase barege no sengete dos nag tene amare sta ta tambo khona ne ya khona lenge yo sam me paso yo ma to kan lenge yo mare ta ngone ge ta chanjo samba tone la ngoso la ya ta khona tuba thap de ba tondo ina len to yo ma to ta da gana to kanza sosi che wo tone nyamne so ka so la pha te thu yo mari so len thu yo mari ne na ya pha te be ke sam ta ya te ke ta ra la dang de chong thu yo de ka le dang de chong do ne te ne ngone ke ta chang we ka so la te thu be ne ba te ne chen ne yo de te ne so len yo ka so la na yo ya sa yo ya te ne ke na chi dang da len do yo mari te na ya Mao pala tene len to begin the by your days. That take it Tonda Chemo Dawa chicken eat in a young day your days.
The practice of taking and sending really serves two purposes. There is the immediate benefit and the ultimate or final benefit. the immediate benefit is really derived by the practitioner rather than anyone else. Because when you imagine giving others your happiness and taking their suffering away from them, you can't actually do this. As an ordinary person, you cannot remove others' suffering. You cannot give them your happiness. So what's the point? Well, the point is that contemplating doing so attacks your selfishness and weakens it. And by practicing this over a long time, gradually the strong selfishness that we all have that is caused by our false belief in a self is chipped away and reduced. Now, sometimes practitioners, beginners, think that if they practice this, they're actually going to get sick. And sometimes they'll say, people come to me and they say, well, I can't practice Tonglen because I did it and I started to get sick because I was actually taking on the sickness of others. That's superstition. That can't really happen. On the other hand, and this is the long-term benefit, when someone becomes a bodhisattva, then they can really take on the sufferings of others and give others at least some of their happiness. But we can't do it now. Young kashi nagido, but some of them, they're stories that they did though. Like that one of the Kadampa, early Kadampa masters they mention here who take on the sufferings of others, he was teaching, and in the street outside someone threw a stone at a dog, and he went, oh, and almost fell off his throne. And when they went out to look, the dog didn't have a bruise, but he did. So
Thank you, Rinpoche, for your teachings this weekend. I wanted to ask some general advice for regular practice, finding time for regular practice. I have found that there are times when my schedule at work is regular and things in my personal life are pretty steady, and I can keep to a really good schedule of getting up early enough to practice and exercise and those kind of things, do those self-care items and go throughout my day. But if there is something causing me anxiety, or I'm not sleeping well at night because of long work hours or any other personal things that might be going on, the schedule gets off, and instead of getting up early, I feel like I need that time for rest because I haven't slept well in the night, and then I get out of the habit then of that regular practice. Can you give some advice for, while adversity is something we should be working on our cushion, can you give some advice on how to, when your schedule is upheaved, if that's a word?
It is now.
It is now, officially.
Yeah.
Some advice on how to bring practice when you can't, when you're off your regular schedule.
Son, that day, the dang, me mambol terrain those. Me mambol regan dot any Aranken and a tell a tick tatic Koyang Bonda was years. Can't they send all that in the Gange Chona in Jig Mijit schedule to Mountain Gogri, gone to Jabia Gogri. Take what they said, lamb nap, then it surely nothing those. Then it don't remember they do those. That telling on that and so Montune lamb dot they were calla, that lamb dot they were the massive bodies. Montune lamb mando calla, me so gonna, then they me so can bodies. The me so necessary, young looking on the passion mando, me Sayanda was Leka Ganga to Yunaji, so ran Hugi Kora, Gamonda were a top sona Yamatun. She told not Yabores that the other would get it.
A lot of people have this experience, and therefore I've been called upon to answer this question before. And my answer to this is always to suggest that you relax. If you take a hard-headed attitude toward your fatigue and anxiety, and you think no matter how tired, wiped out, or burnt out I get, I'm going to push through it, you will quickly burn out. You will become sick of Dharma. You will have Dharma fatigue. It's much more productive in the long run to think of Dharma as a journey. And a journey, it does not end and isn't really interrupted by taking a break or resting. If you're taking a long journey and you need to rest on that journey, then you rest. But then you get back up and you continue the journey. So I don't think it's a problem to rest when you're tired, as long as you don't give up and you keep on the journey, you resume the journey when you've had enough rest. Any other questions? They're not doing what I'm so I don't know.
Can it budget? To someone lasting and then one
Well, so if you're out of questions, we'll continue with the dedication and aspirations.
Let's turn to page 75, and we will do the prayer to be reborn in Dewa Chen, and dedicate it to Khenpo Kartar, and once in Tibetan and once in English. Emaho Notsa Sangye Nawataye Yonsu Jowo Tuje Shambodam Yondu Samba Tuje Donon La Sanje Jansen Bamen Gonjen Dejengo Zarbadu me baye Dewa Kenshen Jawe Shingander Dajen Dines Bujur Mahata Jewa Jenje Barma Jumaro Dero Jene Nande Shadon Jo Dege Dage Munlam Tabade Jojo Sanje Jansen Tanje
Emedro Marajengelanduso Deata Benzandria Awa Bodana Yezoha.
Amaho, marvelous in this
The center is the Buddha Amitabha, boundless light. To his right is Chenrezig, the Lord of great compassion. To his left is the Bodhisattva Vajrapani, the Lord of great power. They are surrounded by an inconceivable assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Extraordinary, limitless peace and happiness is the Buddha field called bliss endowed.
When all
Beings and I pass from this life, may we be born there, unhindered by another samsaric birth. Once born there, may we behold the face of Amitabha, boundless light. By the power of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 10 directions,
bless us that we
may attain this aspiration without hindrance.
Teyata Pansandriya Avabodhanaya Soha. Dorje
Chung, Jalopa, Naropa, Marpa, Milarepa, Dharma, Lord Gampopa, Pomodrupa, and Lord Drikungpa, please bestow upon us the most auspicious blessings of all the Kaju Lamas. By this virtue may I achieve omniscience, by defeating all enemies, confusion. May all who travel on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death cross the ocean of samsara.
Bodhicitta,
The excellent and precious mind, where it is unborn, may it arise. Where it is born,
may it not
decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
I pray that the
Lama have good health. I pray that the Lama may have long life. I pray that your Dharma activities spread far and wide. I pray that I may not be separated from you. As Manjushri the warrior realized the ultimate state, as did Samantabhadra, I will follow in their path and fully dedicate all the merit for all sentient beings.
By the blessings of
the Buddha who attained the 3 Kayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging Dharma as such, by the blessing of the indivisible Sangha order,
may the merit I share bear fruit. And now we will go do the long life prayers on page 80. For this
realm encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of every benefit and bliss without exception. Jamso, you are one with Avalokiteshvara. May you remain steadfast until samsara's end. Embodiment of the 3 precious jewels, Padmapani, who holds the teachings of the victorious one, seeing the all-goodness meaning with the wisdom eye. May you who are spontaneously established activities live long for hundreds of kalpas. Noble Manjushri, the Lord of speech, who manifests to hold the teachings of the Triple Gem, who raises the lamp of the sage's teachings.
May you who are the
light of the Dharma live long for hundreds of kalpas.
The one known in the Holy Land as Arya Deva,
emanated into the Gar clan of eastern Tibet as Chudingma, the heart son of Jigten Sumgun. May the life of glorious Gachin remain steadfast for 100 aeons.
In this age
of strife, when the victor's teachings face hardship, through his powerful Vajra-like conduct, he takes on himself the heavy responsibility of the unbiased teaching. May Garchen, the son of the teachings, live long.
And we will close with the handout of Bardor Tulku's Long Life Prayer, beginning with Padma's emanation. Headmas
Emanation,
emanation call blazing.
Richard,
May
you
your
roar
form
on
be as stable as a
station.
changeless Vajra. May you
You
always
always
accomplish the
accomplish the
victor's
victor's
wishes.
May you fulfill all
the
your
aspirations
aspirations of all
your
your disciples.
Thank you.
Bardor.
Thank you. Thank you.
I just wanted to say a few words. We have Rita. We have a big team. So we wanted to say a few closing words. And one is that I just wanted to start out with, precious is a word we often use, but I don't think that I can perceive the preciousness of this weekend with Bardor Tulku, Lama Yeshe, Lama Nima, and Pemalama, and these Lojong teachings. To be able to receive these Lojong teachings just is incredible. And to have received them in this way is just really amazing. So I think also to be able to come together as a Sangha to listen to such profound teachings is truly inconceivable. And to witness the kindness for you, Rinpoche, to travel to us, to share the Buddha Dharma, the caring for students is remarkable. It is with deep appreciation that we use these words, thank you. There are no words or offerings that can truly express the benefits and blessings you have brought to the students, the center, and all the beings this weekend. Thank you, Lama Nima. You have done, your presence has been very appreciated, and you've created beautiful tormas, and you're caring for Rinpoche. And thank you, Lama Yeshe, for just exquisite translation of the teachings this weekend and empowerment. We really appreciate your skill and all that you have done. And in addition, it really takes a team to make all of this possible. And we have been even more fortunate because we've brought two teams together to support Rinpoche's work and these precious teachings. So, it has been an honor and inspiration to work with the Columbus group. Linda McCart, who I have connected with as one of the leaders, is a truly amazing, kind, and generous person, and as well as her other team members, Aaron and Jim. So as we have navigated the waters of organization and planning, we have not only gotten the job done, but enjoyed the journey along the way and shared together as a Sangha supporting the teacher and the Buddha Dharma. So thank you all very much. Now I'd like to thank a few local team members for their contributions this weekend. We have a cooking team. Thank you, cooking team. Elvira, you can stand up. And I just want to add a little story about Elvira and David, her husband. So they were in Ireland Friday. They arrived back just before the empowerment, and they canceled their trip to Germany to come here to be here with us and these teachings. So I bow to both of them. Thank you very much. And Lavaka, who had to leave today, amazing work that she did, preparing a lunch, staying at the house, really caring for everybody over there. Her work was very, very appreciated. So thank you, Lavaka, from afar. And Tammy, who no one saw, she cooked breakfast every morning. And I know that for all the cooks, every bite was filled with loving care. So thank you. And Pat for her Umse work. It was so beautiful. Jim for his support back there, Mel for her streamers. You have Mel to thank. She'll be at her little league and be turning the streaming off and on, so she really takes her work on the path. So Mary for her beautiful flowers and lunch support, and Catherine and Gary for offering meals over there at the house. Pam for her amazing work in the bookstore and the beautiful team she has, Robert, Barb, and David. And Barb for her amazing work in doing tea service. Thank you very much. And also it was her birthday Saturday, so what a birthday present to be here at the teachings. Special thanks to Paul back there. Raise your hand. Yay, thank you, Paul. Paul worked tirelessly for 3 days before the teachings, patiently working with me side by side, getting everything ready. So I was so appreciative here in the house. And I would like to join together to thank all of you who were able to come here to attend the event. Those who were able to watch us on live stream, which, as I said, will still be available out there for all of us to watch these just beautiful teachings again, and for everyone to participate in. And it is through your attendance that make the teachings possible. So I know Linda would like to express her gratitude, so I'll turn it over to her.
Thank you, Debbie. That was lovely. I feel like that was a nice poem. Mine will be a lot shorter. But thank you so much, Debbie. It truly, as always, has been delightful working with you and everyone here at Gardroma. All of us from Columbus would sincerely like to thank all of you for continuing to be so gracious and helpful in providing this blessed and beautiful temple for Bardor Tulku Rinpoche to come and teach. We're really grateful. And I would also like to thank everyone from Columbus who helped make this possible by providing transportation and meals and any other support for the llamas. I think we had a pretty good team, not only from Columbus, but Columbus and Gardroma together. So thank you again for everything. And I'd also like to mention that we do have an official Palchin study group now in Columbus, and that is a study group that is practicing the Terchen Barwe Dorje within the Terchen Barwe Dorje lineage, and Bardor Tulku Rinpoche is presiding over that. If anybody has any questions or interest in that study group, you can talk to me, or I believe we don't have the website up yet, but we on the Facebook page for Palchin Link, Kunzan Palchin Link, KPL, Kunzan Palchin Link, and the website, we're listed there. And if you have any questions, you can ask me, or you can talk to Debbie and get the contact information for that. So thank you.
And I know Khenpo Samdup was able to speak with Rinpoche today, but and he had extended to me also that we would really like to supplicate you, Rinpoche, to return to Gardroma. I know that comes from him, Garchen Rinpoche, and all of your students here and in Columbus. We would appreciate that very much. And Lama Yashi and all your crew, your group to join. That would be wonderful. And we have an offering from Gardroma here. So Catherine and Gary. So there's, you could give the. And then Gary, those go over there too after me. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Yes, blessing. Lenja number Tama Yard region February nothing and some jet pugings.
So Rinpoche said if everyone will come up, he would like to present each of you with a small packet of Dharma blessing pills.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Okay. You're welcome. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're welcome. Thank you. Very nice home there.
Oh,
Thank you. You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Very good.
I'm sorry, I need a little time to get it. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're so wonderful. I love your translation.
May I see you a little bit in my room? May I see you a little bit in my room? Yeah. Before you go. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Wonderful.
Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Hopefully, I will find the right one. Oh, it's the wrong one. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. No, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. You can put over there. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. No, thank you. Yeah. 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 Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I met police for one time. I met somebody in the Barrow
Yeah, yes. Yeah, what? No, no. One day I will get it for you. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Thank you. No. You're welcome. Thank you. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. How are you today? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
I showed him those drawings.
Okay.
I
Oh,
did. Yeah. Yeah.
oh, no. Oh, that's not. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Okay.
I also wanted to thank Winter for all her help too. So thank you, Winter.
Tate amali. Ja. Ta känner det jorden. Iya, pematan. Oh.
Okay.